Today, I wanted to share 6 things that I have changed my mind about since turning 50. Some of them are maybe opinion things, and others are really due to the fact that I know so much more about what our bodies have gone through and what our bodies need in perimenopause and beyond. So I wish I had known most of these things already when I was in my mid-30s, because that's probably when I started to have perimenopause symptoms. But better late than never. And hopefully, this will help some of you to get to that next phase in your fitness journey a little bit sooner than I did. First of all, what really being in good shape? What is the point of exercise in the end? And now, as a 50 plus woman, I realize that the point of the exercise is to keep this body that we have been given in good functioning working condition. And when I talk about good functioning working condition, I mean above average, right? I mean, I'm never going to be like, oh, yeah, medium is good enough, at least not for me. So, in order to keep my body functioning at its top possible level, all right, maybe top is wrong because then it would be like I was an Olympian or something, but at a higher than average level, I need to be doing things differently. And that really is the goal. It's not about how many hours a week I can do punishing workouts. No, it's about how am I going to be able to manage in my life going forward. And the biggest thing that I've learned is that actually you do not need to be doing these grueling, punishing workouts about strength training and then some cardio. Of course, cardio health is important. You need the two, right? Cardio and strength training. But I was way overdosing on thinking that cardio is king. It is the answer. Then I'm in shape. In shape used to be being able to do a lot of cardio. Now, in shape means having my body functioning so that I can manage until the end of my life. The second thing I have totally changed my point of view on is calories. When I would go to do those grueling cardio workouts, of course, I would be checking my calories afterwards. Woohoo! If I was 550 calories or more in that hour session, it was not unusual for me. That's how hard I was going. And what I have realized now is that actually, A, those calorie monitors are completely inaccurate. You cannot rely on them at all. So if your treadmill is telling you something, forget it. If your sports watch is telling you something, forget it. And in fact, the better shape you're in, so the more of whatever exercise it is that you're doing that you do, your body becomes better at it and your body becomes more efficient at doing it. So it actually burns fewer calories per minute than the first day that you tried it out. So, in fact, when you're able to do the hour of sweaty exercise and feeling great and whatever, and it was telling me that 500 calories plus, I was not burning 500 calories plus. I was probably burning fewer calories than I was the first day that I went there because my body had just gotten better at doing those exercises and become more efficient. So that was completely thrown out the window. And then the other thing that I've learned is that even if you are doing that hour of cardio, it does not make up for all those other hours, those other 23 hours of the day that you are being sedentary. So if you think about like number one and number two combined, my whole mindset around exercise in general has changed from becoming this kind of uh, burn calories, sweat activity to it being something that I do in order to support keeping my body in as healthy, functioning, and honestly good looking condition as I can. So that's a complete mindset shift. And by the way, as far as calories go, the place where I do look at calories is in how much I'm eating. I nowadays totally ignore the calories burned that my watch or my walk pad is telling me because I know that those are inaccurate and I don't want to be influenced by those numbers. Number three, I changed my mind about weight training. So, back when I was in college, I did weight training and we had a strength coach for the lacrosse team. And in fact, I kept weight training up until my first child was born. I stopped when my first kid was born. And then, when I finally had enough time to start exercising again outside of the house, I went to group fitness classes. I was like, been there, done that with a weight room. Way more fun to do the group fitness classes. They have these group fitness classes with weights, so I can do weight training in a group fitness class. But as I mentioned in the very beginning, that's exactly what I was doing when my muscle tone disappeared. So clearly, it is not sufficient for maintaining and building muscle. Okay, if you've been a complete couch potato and then you start going to one of those group fitness classes, you may notice some improvement. In fact, I would be surprised if you don't notice some improvement. But if you actually want to get to where you are building significant muscle, and significant does not mean that you will look like some bodybuilder. I mean, honestly, especially in perimenopause, menopause, it is just so much harder to put on that muscle. But if you want to build a significant amount so that you can do some body recomposition, start taking advantage of the increase in metabolism that you can get and the health benefits of having muscle, like increasing your insulin sensitivity, decreasing your risk for type 2 diabetes, then the weight room is really going to be your friend. You can also lift at home, by the way. When I say weight room, I mean that you do systematic strength training is going to be your friend. And even if you're not somebody who loves weight training, you should view it as a necessity, kind of like brushing your teeth and do the minimum, 1 to 2 times a week, preferably twice a week, to keep your body strong and functional. Now, a lot of people who think that they're not really weight training people, when they keep at it for a little while, and little while, I mean like 6 months, and they start to see the muscle come on, they notice the increases in strength. They notice that they can do things around the house, like pick up heavy bags of dirt. Groceries are easier to bring inside. Moving the furniture, you don't need to ask for help. And they realize that being strong just feels amazing. It makes you feel so powerful as a woman. I mean, I think as a woman in particular, it makes you just feel so badass when you are strong and you can do things on your own. All right, then to a totally different extreme for number four, sleep. Sleep is so undervalued, I think, and especially in American hustle culture, it's like get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and go do your workout, and that's the most important thing, or you're only cool if you do that, and sleeping is for wimps. Sleeping is for wise women, is my new point of view. Sleeping is critical. If you haven't gotten enough sleep, you're not recovering. Your mind is not going to be working in the same way. Your hunger and satiety hormones are going to be out of whack. So you're going to eat incorrectly. Then you're going to start gaining weight. And it's going to be this whole, downward spiral that starts to happen. So sleep has become really one of my top priorities. If you have not been getting sufficient sleep, or if you're tired during the day, you feel like you're living on caffeine, you're just dragging around the house, try a week or two, if you can, of making a point of getting enough sleep and just feel the difference of what your life can feel like if you get enough sleep. I really think that is amazing. Number five that I've changed my mind about is aging. So I used to not really think about aging. And then Suddenly, I got scared to death of aging as my parents started getting older, as their friends started to decline. And I started noticing older women out and about and noticing how hard it was for them to get up out of chairs in restaurants or go down like two little stairs when they're leaving a restaurant. And I'm thinking, how old are these women? They don't even look that old, and they're already having trouble getting around. And I started to really freak out about aging. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be limited. I don't want to be the one who can't travel or holding everybody up or slowing everybody down. I want to be in good shape. And now that I have changed my perspective on working out to be something that supports healthy aging, and not just healthy aging, but the ability to really have an excellent health span and quality of life till the end. I mean, what's the joy of living to be 90 if you are dependent on others or bedridden, or your world has really shrunken to your own house because you can't walk enough to go outside or whatever? So what changing my whole workout philosophy has done for me and being stronger has done for me is I feel so much more in control of my destiny. I feel like there are so many levers that I can pull to stay healthier, stronger, fitter, quality of life, all those things. And I'm pulling them. And it makes me feel so much more confident and in control of this whole aging thing. And finally, number six. I have changed my opinion on tracking what you eat. So, yeah, I understand that tracking what you eat is important when you're dieting, for sure. That's clear. But what about when you're not dieting? Maybe you're somebody who doesn't really need to lose weight. What's the point of tracking? And what I learned through tracking myself really, really strictly is that you learn so much. Oh my God. And the things that you learn help you to maintain your weight, eat in a more healthy, maybe that's a weird word, healthy, but like achieve your kind of nutrition goals, like, for example, getting enough protein or getting enough fiber. And tracking is really the only way to do it. For me, I don't track, like put things in a tracker all the time, but for serving sizes, because I buy like these big tubs of Greek yogurt, for example. And then, I scoop out of that my serving. Well, I'm really bad at eyeballing it. So I do weigh out how much Greek yogurt I'm going to have because I want to stay in my serving size. I don't need to eat like one and a half servings of it. One is plenty for me. And so tracking has really, really helped me to build new eating habits. And by new eating habits built by tracking, I don't mean that I've cut things out of my diet. I hope that doesn't sound like, hey, you need to be obsessing about everything that you eat. It's more about being aware and eating purposely and consciously. So, in summary, the six things that I've changed my mind about in my 50s are number one, what being in shape is. So now I have much more of a long-term perspective on that rather than how well I can get through a sweaty cardio class. Number two, calories burned. I have started ignoring them completely because I understand that the measurements are very inaccurate, not really worth looking at all. Number three, systematic weight training. I used to think that cardio classes with weights was enough. Now I know better. Four, sleep. I have understood the value of sleep, and it is one of the things I prioritize super highly in my life, getting in the 7 to 8 hours every night. And if I have a shorter night, trying to catch up on my sleep afterwards. Five, it's aging. I used to be scared of it. And now I realize that I can control what my aging journey is going to look like by keeping my body fit and healthy. And finally, tracking what I eat. That has been an amazing tool for making sure that I hit my protein goals and my fiber goals. So I hope this was helpful to you. And with that, I leave you till next week. Happy training.